Hi, my name is natekokernot and I want to welcome you to my channel. I've been talking about the various pieces of evidence that we can see, if we choose to look, that point to the idea that perhaps history is on some sort of a loop. In my last video, I talked about this concept called the free energy principle that describes the dance between order and disorder. And today, I want to clarify some of the points that I made the other day with that video. I referred to the idea of surfing the free energy, and today I want to describe what that implies, among other things. Once you understand that it works this way, that more information is constantly being fed into any system, and that the new energy that's been introduced leads to more complexity and disorder, and that the forces that restore the order are also acting on the system constantly, to both sustain its workings as well as to mitigate panic and stress, you begin to appreciate that life's ups and downs are a natural part of life. Accepting that it works like this rather than some steady upwards trajectory that we would all prefer it to be, you learn how to ride those ups and downs without any attachment to either. What this means is that you stop getting over-enthused about the highs and avoid getting bummed out by the lows. You see now that life just works this way. There's nothing you can do about that, and there is something you can do to affect calmer, happier feelings. You can stop taking it so seriously. The key idea is that what goes down has to go back up again, even though you know it will go down again after that. You might not get ahead, but you'll always have enough to survive. You begin to trust in the universe once you understand how things work in reality. And on the emotional level, you are no longer getting clobbered by the big waves that come. You've learned how to stay on top of them. In the macrocosm, looking out at the news of the day, I know for a fact that it is a different experience to see all the polarization and violence that is unfolding from the vantage point of one who is anticipating this chaos because look what time it is. It's wintertime. It's happening right on schedule. At least in my mind, the fact that this period of chaos was predictable makes this period more tolerable for my central nervous system. For the last 4 years, since I first bumped into the historians Neil Howe and William Strauss, I have been watching the news like a person who is waiting for a train that's scheduled to come in. I don't find it as alarming now simply because I know it's been predestined to happen. The fact that history appears to be on a loop also implies, to me at least, the possibility that there is a reality more fundamental, more permanent than the reality that I take in with my senses, the reality I refer to as space and time, the reality that everyone seems to be referring to when they use the word reality, which might not be reality. For me, this translates into me playing the game of survival, getting my bills paid, experiencing ups and downs, with hardly any attachment to the outcomes, since it is all more like a game than I thought it was. A Course in Miracles has instructed me that in reality, the capital R reality, I am in heaven, now. My senses don't tell me so, but my faith and my true vision do, which means that I feel it to be true. I am eternally protected, I am eternally loved, and I am eternally deserving of the protection and love from any real harm that would leave permanent marks on me. I want to share a couple of passages from A Course in Miracles to flesh this out. Here's something from Workbook Lesson 12. Quote, "You think that what distresses you is a frightening world, or a sad world, or a violent world, or even an insane world. All of these attributes are given it by you. The world is meaningless in itself." End quote. And here's a longer one from the text. "You, maker of a world that is not so, take rest and comfort in another world where peace abides. This world you bring with you to all the weary eyes and tired hearts that look on sin and beat its sad refrain. From you can come their rest. From you can rise a world they will rejoice to look upon and where their hearts are glad. In you there is a vision which extends to all of them and covers them in gentleness and light. And in this widening world of light, The darkness they thought was there is pushed away, until it is but distant shadows far away, not long to be remembered as the sun shines them to nothingness. And all their evil thoughts and sinful hopes, their dreams of guilt and merciless revenge, and every wish to hurt and kill and die, will disappear before the sun you bring." End quote. Surfing the free energy could be described as trusting in the greater reality of love that is outside of this seeming reality of fear and separation. Our choices go from being directed by panic to being directed by trust. We become more responsive rather than more reactive, and naturally we stop contributing to the free energy, to the chaos, and we start contributing to the reestablishment of order, which can be harnessed by finding our own peace of mind. We feel no compulsion to take sides, knowing the show itself will be over someday anyways. We feel no need to point fingers at the guilty ones once we appreciate that it was our limited minds alone that deemed those ones as guilty and those other ones over there as innocent. It's not a distinction that has any meaning in heaven, where we are all eternally innocent. We begin to feel in this world, but not of this world. None of this implies giving up on finding happiness. It implies that we have begun to look in the places where happiness is sourced to find our happiness. It is not to be found in the world so much as in our inner knowing of the truth beyond this world. It comes from knowing what is real. And lastly, we begin to appreciate the power of projection and the power of our thoughts. You see, it is fair to say that the ego, or the belief in separation, is directly responsible for all of the free energy produced, all the chaos and all the disorder. It is also fair to say that the Holy Spirit is responsible for all of the corrections which restore the order. We begin to trust that aligning our thoughts with the Holy Spirit is the most effective way to create the world that we want to see, the world that looks like heaven. Our activism becomes a quiet act of righting our minds from thoughts of fear and panic to thoughts of love and safety and of trust. And we don't even have to lift a finger to save this world. We just have to believe that it was our creation and ours to undo. And one procedure that I know works is to not give your thoughts over to untruth anymore. If we stop feeding the belief in evil and suffering by not thinking those thoughts anymore, our perceptions will naturally follow suit, because we see what we believe to be true. And we were mistaken, but not anymore. This isn't just how we cope with the chaos. Our minds are the tools that we can use to restore the order as well. But we have to believe in love without opposite before that will be done. Thanks for listening, and thanks to all of you who have liked and subscribed to this channel. Have a beautiful day full of blessings and miracles, and I will see you again next time.